the show at the base where I ruined my knee.
Oh, yeah.
With the moonsault.
And let's tell them how that happened.
And when it
you were being a jack
I
off.
was being a jerk off, and I decided to do a moonsault off the top and land on my feet like I'd done 1,000 times before.
In his entrance before the match.
But I'd done it before. I mean, and I'd done it 1,000,000 times.
And it was pretty.
And it was, you know, my moonsaults are nice. And
it's very dark, though.
It was real dark in the building, and the mat was black. And I judged it wrong, and when I landed, I felt my knee fuck up. And I cover that in my shoot interview.
And then wrestled me. And I'm
And
shooting
wrestled-
him off into the ropes because I didn't know what the fuck
I
had
can't
happened.
run, so I tried to man up as much as I could, and I did, I guess. We got the point across. But
He was the heel, so he came out first. So when I came out, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. We're locking up, and he's like, I blew my knee out. I'm like, I haven't touched you yet.
During a lockup?
Another scary moment,
Anyways?
which was not scary as in I was, well, yeah, all right, I won't say I was afraid I was going to get hurt, because I was. But it was more intimidating that I learned against because of just my work rate saved me, I guess. But it was an IWC when I had to work Joey Barrett.
Joey Barrett.
Just because of the stories that you hear.
Horror stories.
He's a dude, man. Joey Barrett was one of the coolest guys there. He's real nice to us and everything. But the week prior, there was this kid who I guess Crazy Joe was trying to get rid of or
Wasn't
something
even a
like
wrestler.
that. He said he was. And so Joe gave him a match, and Joey Barrett just beat the shit out of this
Pretty
kid.
much straight up murdered him in front of
it
everybody.
was horrible. And I'm sitting there watching it like, oh my god, we shouldn't be watching this because we could be witnesses.
And the guy, it was almost like he didn't know he was getting
He kept getting up.
assaulted. He's like, this is great, and he's cracking him over and over again in his cranium
He had to
with
have-
a chair,
he had to-
just
if
as hard
he-
as he can.
If he wasn't already brain damaged, he had to suffer some brain damage from that match.
Maybe
I
he was
saw
high
it.
on PCP or something. I
So
don't know.
then we watched that, and then the show ends 2 matches later or whatever. And Crazy Joe walks up to me and says, "Yeah, you got Barrett next time." I'm like, "Oh, what?"
Thank you.
I gotta
be out of town.
Oh, I got
so
this thing.
So I couldn't not show up.
Right.
You know, you don't do that
No.
because then people tell stories about you for the rest of your day.
Yep, and you're a puss forever.
So I showed up. Kyle wrote a big obituary for me on the internet.
Did he?
And I showed up, and, and I had always been real nice to Joey Barrett, and he's always been real nice to me, and we shook hands and everything, weeks prior and stuff like that. But just seeing that, and knowing that I had him the next week, and he came up to me, and he was like, all right, we're gonna do a good job tonight. And I was like, yeah, man, don't worry about it. And he called this opening spot, and I think I misheard him or something like that.
Ooh.
But I was supposed to come off the ground with, I was supposed to be laying down and come off the ground with, I was supposed to bump for a shoulder tackle and get up and leapfrog him without a drop down in between. And the drop down is supposed to gear you so that you stand up. You can push yourself up into the leapfrog. Well, I had to go from a bump to a leapfrog, and I fucked it up.
Ooh.
Opening spot. And I almost started crying. I was so scared.
I'm sorry.
And I just apologized. I apologized to him, and he was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. We covered it." I was like, "Really? You mean it?"
He likes me.
And so then he puts me in his power slam,
Which is his finish, is the power slam.
And he told me, he was like, "Kick out," and I was like, "What?
Huh?
No."
Is that so you have a reason to beat me up for real?
So, and at first in my head, because you're in a match and the guy's covering you and he's like, "Kick out," So I'm thinking, did he say don't kick out? Or did he
Right.
say kick out?
Did I miss the don't?
Well, because I just didn't know. I was like,
Right.
kick out. He said,
Yeah.
don't kick it.
Right.
Fuck it. Kicked out. And he was like, oh, man, good. And just working me around and everything. We got to the back. He's like, boy, that was a great match. You did a really good job. You're better than Buff Bagwell.
He said that.
Yeah. He's like, they had me teamed with Buff Bagwell. You're better than
I've
him."
never
He was
worked
just
Buff.
trying to ferry Buff Bagwell.
Yeah, I've never worked Buff, but being better than Buff Bagwell probably isn't too hard.
But Joey
like
Barrett,
Buff Bagwell.
Joey Barrett telling me I was better than Buff Bagwell was great. And I mean, and to me, with the intimidation factor that went into that match and everything, and I got to thank Crazy Joe for doing that to me. I'm not scared to wrestle anybody anymore.
How could you be?
I mean, if Joey Barrett, I mean, yeah, I guess if somebody said I had Joey Barrett again, but we had such a good time last time, I'd imagine it'd be great.
He probably wouldn't remember you.
Probably not, but I had a good time and I can work, I guess, so that helps.
you had a match with another high-profile guy in PWA,
Gibson.
Robert Gibson, half of the Rock and Roll Express.
I was nervous about that one because the guy's in a video game. And
he's your training grandpa,
Yeah, he's
because
my training
Danny
grandpa.
Rowland, who trained you, was trained by Robert Gibson.
Yeah. So, and I had to go in there and work him, and I was real green, and he was like, "Hey, you know how to do over the top rope if I clothesline you? Never been trained in it, never done it before. Yes, sir. I know how to do it. You do a missile drop kick off the top? Sure, I do.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
do that.
Never done it.
Never done it before, but I'll do it, and I did, and it was fun. I guess it was a decent match. I guess I was in it. Of course.
I missed a couple scary moments.
What?
The Cornbread tag match. Me and Cornbread against you and Cyrus.
Oh, in Dirty South.
Yeah.
That's where we broke the ring.
Right. Cornbread slams Nick Vortex over here. And I actually watched the video. You're the one that actually, on the slam, the ring breaks.
Really?
Yeah, it breaks. It breaks a little bit. It was an all-wood ring. So he slams him and it breaks a little bit, but you can hardly tell.
It's because my back's made out of steel. That's why.
Cornbread hits the ropes, comes off with a big leg drop, and the ring just goes...
Brushed steel.
So we just keep working because it's still together, but the underside, underneath the canvas and the padding and everything is just sinking.
And we're consummate professionals.
It looks like we're in a big sinkhole. So there's a spot that comes up where I shoot Cyrus into the corner. Boom, he hits. I get a running charge. Cyrus moves. My foot, I guess, hits a part of the ring that's uneven. I come off my feet. My chin hits the turnbuckle. I'm bent in a C in midair. If you pause it on the fucking tape,
Like this.
And what it was,
Into the turnbuckle.
what it was is you actually
Hilarious.
tripped because the ring had the sinkhole in it. The apron was, or the mat was loose.
Yeah,
And you were running and you
And you were
tripped
running
over
yeah,
the hole.
that's what it was. Yeah,
And you just crashed.
I crumbled.
That was
KC goes to pick me up, and I'm like, nope, not yet. I thought I was dead. And then immediately, I love you, Cyrus. Turns me over, gets me in a camel clutch, stiffest camel clutch I've ever been in. My chin's up. I'm like, hey, can you? And then he tags Vortex. Vortex comes in, puts me in the lightest camel clutch I've ever been in. He's like, you okay, buddy?
Because he's a buddy.
Yeah, you can see him on the tape. You alright, buddy? You okay?
Casey's a worker.
You want to
and
keep
Nick's a buddy.
going?
You want to tag? Okay, you want to go ahead and go home on this one?
And then the next month,
You want a milkshake?
my neck didn't hurt after that.
Happy Meal?
I had nagging neck injuries going up to that. I thought the turnbuckle had actually fixed my neck chiropractically. So the next month, I wrestled KC, and Gibson comes in and gives me the lariat. I took that weird bass backwards. Had to go to the emergency room that night. Legit. Thought I was going to die. Was it the next night? Might have been the next night. I don't remember. I woke up in the middle of the night, 3 a.m. I'm like, I got to go to the emergency room. This is
The
fucked
producer's
up.
telling you it was the next
Yeah.
night.
The producer over here.
Producer.
Doing a
But,
fine job, by the way, producer.
Any more
Good work.
crazy, death-defying, thought you were going to die?
Your
The
back
spine
on the
buster.
spine
and the,
buster.
Yeah, we already
We
covered
talked
that.
about it.
I took a DDT at Action Mike Jackson's show that Cruze gave me, and I tried to take it all Rob Van Damme,
Yeah, that's
and I
rough.
Speared yourself into
thought
it.
I'd broken my neck. That was my fault, so I can't be scary.